Today's video is all about the Disney villains that have left a lasting mark on our childhoods. We're going to rank these baddies and decide who's the most wicked of them all. From Maleficent's curses to Scar's sinister plans, we'll dive into the dark side of Disney. So, stay tuned to see who takes the #1 spot in our list of Disney's best animated villains. At number 12, Prince Hans in Frozen, 2013. Disney really surprised us with this one, Prince Hans from Frozen. He seemed like the nice guy, but he turned out to be a total jerk. Back in 2013, some parents even had reservations about showing their kids this because it shattered the image of kind adults. But, in a way, that's what makes Hans such a great bad guy. He teaches kids that people might not be as they seem. You've got Hans, who's all princely and good-looking, just like the classic Disney princes. But no one, not even Princess Anna, knows anything about him. This not only pokes fun at those classic romance subplots in Disney movies but also gives Frozen a villain who's all about greed and selfishness. He'd say anything to get what he wants. At number 11, Mother Gothel in Tangled, 2010. Okay, we know the evil stepmother thing is a bit overplayed, but Disney managed to freshen it up in Tangled. They introduce us to the wicked Mother Gothel even before poor Rapunzel realizes how twisted she is. Rapunzel doesn't even know she's a princess because Gothel snatched her when she was a baby. Why? To steal Rapunzel's magical hair with healing powers, which is quite the plot twist. But what really stands out is the toxic and abusive relationship they create. Gothel constantly manipulates Rapunzel, convincing her that the outside world is dangerous, while throwing in some fake affection now and then. It's less like Cinderella and more like something out of a twisted family drama. Quite a surprise for a movie with a frying pan-wielding horse, right? At number 10 is the evil queen in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 1937. Sometimes, the classics are classics for a reason, and the evil queen in Snow White is the original when it comes to being wicked. But her whole deal is all about looks, as this wicked stepmom can't stop gazing into a magic mirror, always seeking confirmation that she's the prettiest of them all. And when Snow White, the new generation, threatens her reign, well, she has a solution for that too. Who didn't have those childhood nightmares when the evil queen used magic to become a creepy old lady and offer Snow White a poisoned apple? It's the epitome of cruelty, and that slow, sinister smile spreading across her face is still nightmare-inducing. At number 9, Frollo in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, 1996. Disney's take on The Hunchback of Notre Dame might have bitten off more than it could chew, trying to adapt a story that's too complex and grown up for Disney's usual audience and storytelling style. But even in its simplified form, Frollo stands out as one of Disney's most human villains. That's precisely why he's even more unsettling for adults. Based on a character who's a lecherous priest in Victor Hugo's novel, Disney's Judge Frollo still perfectly captures the corruption of absolute power and the transformation of self-righteousness into something truly spine-chilling. Frollo reluctantly takes care of Quasimodo from a distance, but his obsession throughout the movie is fixated on Esmeralda, a gypsy dancer he desires. The best song in the movie is Frollo's haunting confession to the flames, revealing his twisted lust for the young woman, which morphs from desire to disdain. Like many other religious figures, he blames a woman for his own perversions and failings. Frollo might think he's singing to God, but the song Hellfire hints at the dark path this character is on, even unsettling kids with the creepiness of older men hiding behind their faith. At number 8, Ursula in The Little Mermaid, 1989. We all know the not-so-secret inspiration for Ursula in the original The Little Mermaid, the fabulous drag queen divine. And that explains why Ursula is undeniably fabulous from the very moment she graces the screen. She's part octopus and 100% drama queen, and she doesn't shy away from it. Ursula, the corpulent sea sorceress, bemoans her own wasting away while secretly plotting to convince Ariel to trade her voice for a pair of legs. Pat Carroll's voice acting adds a campy flair to Ursula's character. Her vocals wrap around phrases like tentacles, delivering lines such as "and don't underestimate the importance of body language." At number 7, Cruella Devil in 101 Dalmatians, 1961. Kruella Devil is a woman on a mission. She wants to turn adorable puppies into a fur coat for herself. That's it. There's no deep backstory or hidden motivation here. It's all about the surface. And that's what makes her one of Disney's wickedest villains. The team behind her creation had a blast with this character. Cruella is animated as a wicked skeleton that somehow still has skin and those menacing yellow eyes. The message is clear. No matter how high her fashion game, her soul is rotten. But let's be honest, she's just a blast to watch. Even one of the guys she dognapped couldn't deny her style. In fact, Roger Radcliffe wrote a catchy jingle in her honor. At number 6, Jafar in Aladdin, 1992. Jafar, the villain in Aladdin, might be the only Disney Renaissance bad guy who doesn't get his own song, and that's probably the one thing they got wrong in an otherwise fantastic movie. But even when Broadway veteran Jonathan Freeman is left to revisit one of Robin Williams' tunes, he still manages to make it his own. Jafar, intentionally designed by animator Andreas Deja as a male counterpart to Maleficent, is a seriously intimidating sorcerer who can transform into some seriously hideous forms. But there's something uniquely original about Jafar. Thanks to Freeman's impeccable comic timing, there's a dry sense of humor that somehow makes Jafar's scheming with his parrot sidekick, Iago, kind of endearing and oddly campy. At the same time, Jafar's snobby attitude towards our hero, the street-smart Aladdin, keeps his nastiness front and center, especially when he turns downright sinister in the third act. By the end of the story, he's one seriously menacing snake. At number 5, Chernobog in Fantasia, 1940. If Frollo represents Disney's most disturbingly human villain, Chernobog is Disney's most primal and Jungian creation. Based on ancient Russian legends about demonic revelries that supposedly happen on a hill called Lisa Hora in Ukraine every June, Fantasia's Night on Bald Mountain takes folklore and the apocalyptic sounds of hell from composer Mussorgsky to create one of Disney's most ambitious animated segments. In Disney's version, Chernobog is essentially Satan, a demonic force that rises from the peak of his mountainous dwelling like a wild bat emerging from the depths of hell. Chernobog declares war on heaven, God, and all things good, making it one of the original Walt Disney Animation Studios' most daring creations. On a pure gut level, the animation work by artists like Bill Tytla to bring Chernobog to life is one of the most monstrous and terrifying things Disney has ever created. At number 4, Man in Bambi, 1942. In the classic 1942 film Bambi, we never actually see the face of the hunter who tragically kills Bambi's mother. And we don't need to. The film's powerful message, clear even to a child, is that we as humans are the ones responsible for the loss. Bambi's mother falls victim to man and all his actions, whether it's as a sports hunter or through the many destructive ways humanity impacts the natural world. The last image of Bambi's mother is one of desperation as she urges her son to run and not look back, advice he follows until it's all over, and his father informs him that she won't be with them anymore. It's a profoundly effective storytelling choice in Disney's history, and it can still bring tears to the eyes of anyone, young or old, who can reflect on our shared responsibility. At number 3, Gaston in Beauty and the Beast, 1991. Here's a fun tidbit. While creating the villain for Disney's first animated film nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, the artists at Walt Disney Animation Studios imagined that Gaston was the one who killed Bambi's mother. Although not official canon, the thematic connection is there when Gaston proudly declares, "I use antlers in all of my decorating." It's a perfect embodiment of male arrogance and entitlement. Gaston starts as a caricature of the alpha male type you might recognize, whether in provincial France or your local high school's star athlete. However, as Beauty and the Beast unfolds, Gaston reveals his truly nasty side, marking a significant shift in Disney's approach to villainy. There's nothing supernatural, comical, or campy about this guy. He's a mean, self-centered egotist who turns violent when he doesn't get what he believes he's entitled to. His character resonates with the times we live in, particularly in the third act where he resorts to scapegoating and stirring prejudice to rally his small-minded village against the beast. By the end, he's just a crazed man holding a big knife, seething because he didn't get his way. At number 2, Maleficent in Sleeping Beauty, 1959. Maleficent is the kind of woman who, when not invited to a party, doesn't just crash it. She shows up and declares that she'll also kill the host's newborn daughter as a birthday present, 16 years later. That's some next-level villainy right there. It's so wickedly cold that Disney tried, and didn't quite succeed, in turning this sorceress into a misunderstood anti-hero 50 years later. The true Maleficent is no one's hero, and that's why she remains the most iconic baddie in Disney's history. Sleeping Beauty, with its rich and intricate animation overseen by artist Eyvind Earl, captures a pre-Renaissance vibe, akin to late Middle Ages tapestries and paintings. This artistic ambition is why Maleficent is so visually striking. Her dark inky appearance transforms into eerie green and yellow flames. It's a memorable look further intensified by Eleanor Audla's heartless laugh. She's a character who revels in evil from head to toe. So when she turns into a dragon at the end, every child's instinct is to either look away or bolt from the room. And at number 1, Scar in The Lion King, 1994. For those who grew up with The Lion King, witnessing Mufasa's tragic death was a defining childhood movie trauma. The scene operates on a primal level, borrowing from Shakespeare and Norse mythology about uncles killing brothers and taking their place. But in practice, it's simply raw cinema. As Hans Zimmer's powerful score goes silent, shadows creep into the frame, and Scar's slimy green eyes shimmer. "Long live the king," he hisses, and the deed is done. He's a master of delivering lines with a sinister flair, whether he's slyly taunting his nephew Simba or belting out "Be Prepared," a song that revels in its own wickedness. But beneath it all, there's a captivating ugliness that reaches its peak when Scar murders his brother, adding operatic weight to The Lion King and making the character an unforgettable villain. And that's the video. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one.